It kills me because I can't hear it.
Oh, I just love seeing Fat Colin Robinson.
Oh, just seeing it.
Gosh,
Okay, gotcha.
He's amazing. Welcome to Evilive, live media commentary show that answers the question, are you really best friends if you've never made up a job for them? Really? Subscribe to the channel because today we are reviewing What We Do in the Shadows, Season 6, Episode 4, The Railroad.
Hell yeah.
What were your initial thoughts of this?
This is not at all where I saw the episode going.
No.
Like, I was so confused by the title, especially with how it started, and then Sean shows up, and it just completely derails from there. No pun intended. Fantastic episode.
Yeah. Nice pun, though.
Yeah, not intended, but I'll take it.
Take it. Own it. Yeah, man. Like, as soon as Sean shows up, I'm like, it's going to get silly. Like, you can't have that dude in here. And
damn it, I meant to actually wear my Sean shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, I even had it set aside, and I was going to wear it all special, like, whatever.
Hey, we're being gay for you. This is directed by Kyle Newacek, written by Sam Johnson and Chris Marcille, and it premiered October 28. The Railroad. That's the excuse they always give to Sean and arguably anyone about why they have such weird hours and why they're always off doing stuff. Oh, we work at the railroad. And everyone's just like, okay, you were the railroad. That's a thing. Yep. Out west, that's a thing. I don't know if out east, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Looking at welding jobs actually out east, and it's a big thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, go Amtrak, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
What did you think of this episode? You're good? I mean, like,
oh my God, it was so fucking funny.
It was broken into two halves. We had that joined at the end, which I thought was really wonderful and brilliant, the way they sort of tied a bow on it all.
Definitely.
But we start with, first of all, Jerry from episode 1 is just like continuing to try to conquer the new world, which I just thought was like, why are you still here? Like, we did the bit.
Right.
Like, you're done. Is this just like a day's wage you're going for? Like, why are you here? Is he gonna? Do you think he's gonna have like a continued thread?
To the end of the series, yeah. I believe so.
Ugh. I don't even like him as a character.
I don't think we're supposed to.
I just don't. I don't get it. Like, we had that, the Baron. We've been there.
Yeah, he's much better.
He's infinitely better, and he says "vampire."
Yes. God, I fucking love Doug Jones so much.
He's the best. Every time he's on screen, I'm just like, ooh. And then you get to see the cool ass like ancient vampire gargoyle. I'm just like, oh, that dude. I just want to see if there's like a bulge. I don't know what it is. I want to touch that gargoyle's bulge. I really do.
Yeah.
I bet it's squishy. I bet you poke it and it bounces back like a sponge. Anyway.
Possibly.
That's in my heart. In my heart, I know it. So we had Nandor and Nadja, who are working at Canon Capital Strategies, still on behalf of Guillermo, doing his best to rise up in the ranks. And really only Nadja's actually helping him in a weird way. Nandor is like not helping anyone at all, but he's having a great time.
Yeah, no, he's just spreading disease.
So gross.
Yeah. Well,
freaks me the fuck out so bad watching him.
Yeah, it makes me want to clean as soon as the episode's over.
When Guillermo tells him, like, you need to tone it down, all right? You just, like, stop talking to people. You're not supposed to be seen. And then he just faces the wall.
It's so great. Because I do that shit to fuck with my wife.
Wait a second. You face the wall?
Yeah, dude. Like, anytime that I feel like I'm in the way, I'll get out of the way. And then she gets mad at me because I'm not in the way. So then I go even more out of the way. Like this morning, in fact, we're choring and stuff. And I stepped into the closet a little bit to get out of the way. And she's just looking at me. So then I force myself in there like I'm hiding inside of the shirts. And she's just getting mad at me. You're not in the fucking way. It's like, oh, well, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, I know. I'm just inspecting the shirts, making sure they're fresh for the new season.
Oh, yeah. I love that because, yeah, I do that shit.
It was hilarious. Watching it and seeing the guy's reaction, like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
It's like someone who thinks they're invisible. And they're just standing there. You don't see me. No, we see you, weirdo. We totally 100% see you. Nadja's great, just doing everything that Nadja does. And Guillermo's great because he's kissing up to his new master. I mean, boss. I love the little slip that he does when he's working with this dude, because he's just spent like 9 years. I think it was 9 years, right?
10.
10 years, sorry. 10 years as a familiar, so of course he's got that in his head. It's just like muscle memory. It's like when you're in elementary school and you call your teacher mom or dad, like, and then you ask to, suckle at their teat. It's a totally normal thing that you do.
It's 100% normal.
And then they take you in the closet and let you do it. So, like, I mean, that wasn't just my school, right?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have a bad experience. And then the second half is Laszlo and Colin Robinson. Well, Laszlo handing off the experiment to Colin Robinson after supposed failure, and Colin, like, just giving it his all. And just, I'm going to teach this creature how to be, like, helpful.
So fucking good.
Just so weird.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And then that's when Sean comes in, and he's like, hey, you work at the railroad. They're like, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we work at the railroad. And he's like, yeah, I need a job. Do you think I could get an interview? And Laszlo's like, sure, old chap. We'll get you that interview. And Colin has to remind him, we don't actually work at that. He's like, yeah, but let's just make it up. Let's just build a building that's the railroad. Get a bunch of extras in there. They just like have like random people in there.
So fucking good, man.
They go through all of it. And it's all because Laszlo wants his friend to feel valued. And that is so goddamn endearing.
Well, it's part that and part he's made him damn near brain dead because of how many times he's hypnotized him. So it's a little ambi, but still, like, I get it. Like, I would do that kind of shit. I've lied for friends. I've been a previous boss, wink, wink, nudge, nudge for people before. It's like, I've got a business line.
Yeah.
So I get it. I've been nice to an extent, but definitely not as nice as Laszlo.
I love it. He's like, he's my big boy, or like something to that effect. He's like, my main man, my big boy. I was just like, I want to be Laszlo's big boy. I was getting all jealous of Sean.
Right.
Fuck you, Sean.
Yeah, I desperately want to hang out with Laszlo. So I'm pretty sure hanging out with Matt Berry is the same fucking thing.
100%. I mean, maybe less blood. Possibly less blood, but it would still
probably less blood.
Question.
We'll say probably.
In either case, like, Colin's just like, all right, I'll go with it. Fuck it. Like, what am I gonna do? I have nothing else going on. And I love that they repurpose the creature as the boss of the railroad. And he's like,
so fucking great,
doing this great job, I guess, because you can't really understand the fucking guy. And then he like gives the dude the job, and you're just like, oh shit.
That was the best fucking part. Is like the creature went full method and like, cut of jib, you're higher, and it's like that is fucking hilarious.
I love the phrase. I like the cut of your jib. Like, I don't even know what it means. I have no idea. I know what it's supposed to infer. I like, your style, but like, what the fuck is a jib? And what is a cut of it? Like, what does that even mean? Where does that even come from? What's the etymology of that?
Right.
That's the weirdness in my head. But so then we're sort of cutting back and forth between them doing that and then Guillermo getting, like, impressing his boss. They go out to a big dinner and they celebrate, this sort of huge success that Guillermo had a big part in, thanks to Nadja murdering the guy that was supposed to have the part in it. And then Guillermo is just like sort of getting mad appreciation, having this moment that he's never had before. And there's like this part of me that I'm really celebrating for Guillermo, but this has to be temporary. There's no way this is a real gig. This feels like a total fake job, even though it's a real job for him.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely a Kirby vacuum cleaner sales job. Like, they wine and dine you because you're making them all this money, and then you run out of shit, and then they kick you to the curb.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be what's going to happen.
Yeah, and Jordan is just like that stereotypical shit boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants to be like Wolf of Wall Street, but he just doesn't have the balls for it.
Mm-hmm.
So he just fakes it. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't like.
I really love the aspect of Nandor. Like, this is us watching him getting to his breaking point. Is he's just standing there watching the whole fucking dinner.
It was so great seeing his familiar being just championed and celebrated. And there's a part of me that wants to transcend the whole vampire situational trope and just go to the fact that you see, like speaking to Nandor, you see him as your friend. You always have. And you've seen that he has helped you and through so much. If you can get past your ego, then you could just celebrate your friend's successes. And it would make both of your relationships so much better. You wouldn't feel bad about yourself because there's nothing to feel bad about. Seeing someone else rise does not mean you're falling. And I think that's something that in this, I'm just going to touch on it really briefly. That's something that is antithetical to social media, where you almost feel like you're falling in a vacuum when you see other people rise, because you're like, oh, everyone else is having such a great time, and I'm sitting here on my stupid phone. They're doing the same thing. Like, you're not falling. No one's rising. It's all fake. It's all
like
bullshit.
You wouldn't be seeing this shit if they hadn't posted it from their fucking phone.
Yeah, taking their fucking time to edit the photos and make sure everything's just perfect, and then putting it out there and just waiting for people to click the little like button. Like, they're much more pathetic than you, so please don't feel bad. But that's, I'm the whole time just like, Nandor, man, just tell him you're proud of him. Tell him congratulations for doing a great job. Tell him that you want all the success for him, because that's going to make your relationship better. It's going to make you feel good. There's going to be no negative involved at all. But of course, he's Nandor. What are you going to do? You can't. He's a fucking vampire. He's the relentless. He doesn't relent.
Yep.
You can't. It's not his vocabulary. I mean, it's in his vocabulary because he says it, but it's not in his actionable vocabulary.
Definitely.
It's just domination is in his vocabulary. I love the way he talks. It's so great. And so ultimately, Guillermo and Nadia have to figure out a way, because Nadia ends up turning the entirety of the thing sort of south, talking about some great opportunity to sort of add more clout or praise or something. I can't quite remember how we got there because it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, so basically what happens is she feels underappreciated because Guillermo is like, look, you guys are being fucking turds. I'm doing this all on my own. I'm the one that's carrying the weight. You guys need to get your shit together. And that's when Nadia comes in the next day to the job and is like, oh, I know this place you guys should buy. It's fantastic. Blah, 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 blah.
The same, the railroad place.
Yes. Yes, the Staten Island and Southwestern Railroad.
That's a great place for her.
So she's trying to get her husband's company taken over, like a vicious takeover. And then, of course, the irony is they show up and they realize, yeah, this isn't a real fucking thing, because there's people walking around just pointing at stuff and it says print, print, print. This one says nothing.
On this paper.
And then this is like, the computers aren't real. They're all plastic. And just completely throwing the place apart. Like, what the fuck is this? And then Laszlo starts talking about how much he paid for it. And that's when the script flips. And they go from being like, this place is a fucking turd. We don't want this, to, holy shit, you guys are underpaying. We need to buy this and triple the fucking rent.
Hell yeah.
So they end up getting bought out in the end.
Which is just wonderful. I mean, and it's also the sort of cue, this Canon Capital Strategies Corporation of buying out smaller businesses and sort of like just destroying them for a profit, leads into the next episode beautifully, especially with Nandor's involvement and stuff.
Yeah.
And his involvement as the janitor of Canon Capital, because ultimately Guillermo does get the balls to tell him, like, look, you got to leave. You're not, this is not working. You're fired. And Nandor's just like, all right, fuck me. Like, fuck. I can't believe my familiar is firing me. And when I was trying to help him, and he just goes this spiral, and I felt so bad for the dude.
Oh yeah.
But we've all known people like that. They're just like, they try too hard and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, when shit got real is when he took off his mic and started storming out. It's like, oh, that's always a sign of some shit's getting ready to go down.
I love it when they sort of break that wall of, oh yeah, this is a documentary, not just a TV show. Like, this is supposed to be filmed by people. And every once in a while they lean into it, but like that moment I was just like, oh yeah, like I forgot. I thought I was just watching like a show.
Yeah.
Like an active filming documentary of what we're supposed to believe. I don't know, man. This episode, it was like way out there. I did not see it coming. I had no expectation that this is where they're going to go. And for the final season, I'm not even sure what I want out of this show. But episodes like this, I enjoy it. It
Yeah.
just makes me want more, though. That's the problem.
Like, it just seems like it's gonna be fluff for the rest of the series. Like, there's gonna be the main story arc, the A and B story, which, you know, A is Jerry, B is Guillermo navigating the reality of his world that he's in now, post becoming a vampire and somehow coming back.
Yeah.
But mostly just fluff in between, and I'm all for it. Like, it's a good way to, I guess, kind of peter out expectations for the show ending, because it feels like they're not building up to some huge, massive finale, because that's never satisfying. Yeah. Like, at least rarely. Like, I can think of one show that ended properly. I guess two, really.
Well,
and
6
that's
Feet Under did it.
6 Feet Under and Dinosaurs. Those are the only two shows that ended. I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not joking at all, but seriously, like, how the fuck do you end that show? Oh, the Ice Age, obviously. Yep. Yeah, other than that, it's like I can't think of a single series that has ever ended well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be rough, especially like a sitcom comedy sort of thing where you have to wrap a bow on it somehow to give the fans some sort of like appreciation for having invested 6 seasons with you. You know, you want there to be conclusive story arcs, but I feel like the next episode gave us a little hint of that with Nadja and Laszlo, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how they're gonna fucking end this thing. Chris is saying he's the minority, but he'd like to explore more about the documentary crew. I feel like it's a little too late for that.
I don't. The thing is, I like the mystery. I like things being left unsaid. Like, that was one of the most jarring aspects of The Office for me, was the times that the crew actually came into it. Like, specifically interactions with Pam. That shit was so weird to me. And it's like, I know they're there. We know they're there. That's the whole purpose of this.
Yeah, that's a shtick.
But they're behind the camera. They stay behind the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if they were going to do that, they should have done it earlier. Like, first season, they alluded to it with the Baron going like, who are these people? Like, oh, it's just a documentary crew. Don't worry about it. That would have been the cue to like sort of bring in another character, like maybe one of the documentary, people, and then weaving their thread in. But yeah, I think they were very much taking the Office cue of just like, no, let's just use that as the sort of the camera viewpoint, and then just sort of have fun with it, and just.
Well,
go.
I feel like they've done it every episode where they have that one, or every season where they have that one episode where somebody new to the crew is like, what the fuck is this? And then it's just an easy, I ignore them. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is normal, so let's go on. So it's like carrying on the joke of just, that is absurd. The idea of a crew following you around, because it's not just a person with a camera.
Yeah,
you're going to have the camera people. You're going to have the director of photography,
the sound guy.
You've got probably multiple sound guys,
or girl,
whatever, sound people,
sound person.
You've got your grips. You've got your electrical department. Like, it's a crew. Even if it's a skeleton crew, like I've worked on very small independent things. Like, there's still, if there is a camera rolling, you've got anywhere between 5 to 20 fucking people there that have nothing to do with anything in front of the camera. They're all behind the camera and doing shit there. So it's like just the absurdity of it just being, oh yeah, no, just ignore them. And like, oh, okay, on with my life, is hilarious to me.
There was a great moment in I watched a show called Crime Scene Kitchen, which is just another baking
which
show
I
competition
still
thing.
Desperately got to do.
I find it very enjoyable, and there's this one scene in this last episode where they have that sort of like mid bake before the judging of the bake, and they're talking about how it went for them or whatever, and they're like trying to come up with some sort of explanation. And one of the ladies that was sitting in front of the camera, she was just like, "And you, cameraman, you're just looking at your phone anyway. Look it up for me." And they like left that in. And it was just like hilarious because clearly the camera guy was bored as fuck recording this goddamn thing. And she was just like scrolling through whatever. And she called him out and they're like, all right, you know what? We're leaving that in. That's great.
Oh yeah, no, that's fucking hilarious.
It's like stuff like that I would love to see more of, where there's just like, or like reactions. I mean, I feel like early on with What We Do in the Shadows, there was like cameraman reactions to the gore or to like a situation. And especially when we saw them, I think maybe it was season 3-ish, where they like went into the vampire's house and they were all trying to run out because they were going to go kill them with Guillermo finding out who's the hunter.
Yeah, it was season 3.
And they're like killing all the cameramen and stuff. Shit like that I like. Because it wholly involves the other half that we don't ever see, but we all are supposed to believe are there, the documentary people. So yeah, I don't know. And then even just the idea, like, has someone worked there for a while? Do they have a relationship with the people? Because you can't help but not to have a relationship with them if they're around you every day, all the time. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit, but I feel like now it's just too late. Like you can't introduce that in the second half of the final season.
I almost wonder if that's what that's going to be. Like if that's going to be the finale, is them ending the documentary and the crew getting together and going over the footage and stuff and discussing
like taking their mics off and
the narrative. Yeah. That'd be a pretty smart way to do it.
That might be a really good ending. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's like legit shit. Like documentaries.
Yeah.
It's a commitment. It's a lifetime commitment almost. Like
I wonder if, that's interesting. Okay. I think I would like that too. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. I don't know if it's my Skype or if it's his Skype, but I just heard the Skype beep. So, assuming that we're still live, I have no idea if we are or not. I guess I'm just going to continue. So, anyway, my favorite part of that episode... All right, so we are still live. Thanks, Chris. My favorite part was definitely the aspect of... wrapping it back together, seeing that shitty, Wolf of Wall Street crew coming in, realizing that it's all bullshit, and then suddenly realizing, oh wait, but we can actually monetize this shit. And so even though Nadja shit the bed with what she was trying to do, it ended up working out. And even though Colin and Laszlo were shit the bed with their attempts at, making this fake job for their friend, it fell through because it was bought out, and it allowed Sean to go on to something else and like have his little moment of like, shaking his fist at the man. I just love that aspect of it. I'm going to leave Cameron on screen like that because why not? So, yeah, I think it was a great episode. Not really what I was looking forward to happen. I don't really know what I'm expecting out of this show, to be quite honest. Other than enjoyment, which I find every time. But I have to say, after the turnout of the election, this show helped me through it. Like, genuinely. I'm still trying to process that shit. But, yeah, like, especially with the last episode, because it was the one that happened right on election result day. Like, sweet hell, I needed What We Do in the Shadows desperately. It was like after 9/11 hit, people were talking about how they just sort of like drowned themselves in SpongeBob SquarePants to get their head out of the travesty. That's how I was with What We Do in the Shadows. If only it was a comedy, Chris. If only it was a comedy and not a tragedy. All right, so we're going to leave it there. I don't know what's going on. Maybe. Oh, wait. You guys hear that? That's Skype. What's up?
That was fun.
I'm glad you're alive. I thought your closet opened and someone came through.
My power strip got pulled out of the wall.
By?
I don't know. It's in front of me.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was interesting.
I
don't even remember what the fuck I was saying, but it was probably something important.
I was wrapping it up, but now you really do have a problem in your house.
Yeah.
Like, is there a well under stairs? In Amityville?
No, I did find a body under the house when we first moved in, but that was it. I mean, it was.
That should be enough.
And we for sure had a ghost cat at one point. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're safe. I was just wrapping it up. What was your favorite part of this?
Favorite part was definitely the end of the interview, where the creature is just like, I like cut of your jib. I did hired. And he became the fucking vice president of a company that he knows nothing about.
You're the vice president.
Yeah, no, it was fucking perfect.
So does that mean I'm higher ranking than you? Yeah, but you deserved it. You did great.
Yeah, so goddamn good. And just they kept going with it. It was fantastic.
It was good friends. Did you have a least favorite part?
No.
It's good. It's just happiness.
It is. That's all this is
Maybe
happiness.
Chris's comment is my favorite part. That you frozen looks like you're mid-coitus.
Ah.
Not 100% sure I know what coitus means. Maybe it's pooping, but...
I mean, it feels about the same, I guess, right?
Sure.
It's a big relief.
Anything else?
No. I think we got it covered.
Like, hey, baby, I want you to make me feel as good as taking a shit.
Good
What do you
luck.
say? She's like, you got it, big boy.
As long as my ass isn't on fire afterwards, I think that's a win.
Right. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in to this clearly on point review of What We Do in the Shadows.
100%.
Always remember the evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there, be evil, and try not to have your butthole burn.
Or live a little. Gotta keep your rectum in check.
This is true.
Like, you gotta let it know who's the boss.
Tony Danza?